Ah. Can you not see that? What the hell is that?
Language!
Keep walking.
It's a real person, Tim.
I didn't know that. She's very pretty. Oh. Monsieur Chong.
Friends, we gotta watch the volume. We'll scare the animals. So our first stop today is here in the Little Eterni Forest. In the forest, animals will use their nap.
On the other side, that.
Coming up ahead, we are going to be coming up on some greater kudu, and then also way out in the distance on the right, behind all the bushes, more copper in color, are the bongos. Bongos are nicknamed the ghosts of the forest because they're hardly ever seen. The greater kudu here are females. We know that because they do not have any horns. Only male greater kudus have horns, and they get to about 6 feet in length. But they are the tallest forest antelope in Africa. They get to about 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Alright, so we got pretty lucky there in the forest, but now we're going to head out of there into the Sapi River. The Sapi River is home to animals who spend most of their time in and around the water. They can include animals like hippos and crocodiles, so we're going to keep an eye out for them. Now, I do want to point out the pink-backed pelicans, the larger kind of white and gray fluffy birds around here. They get their name from the pink color that appears on their backs during mating season. That pigment is going to be on their skin, not their feathers, so it is present all year long, but more vibrant in the springtime. Those are the largest of the crocodilians in Africa at about 500 pounds and 16 feet long.
Crocky.
You don't want to be falling in that.
Now, y'all probably know the crocodiles are some pretty serious predators, as they do have a bite force that is strong enough to crush bone, but they're not the busiest of eaters. On average, crocodiles only have 1 meal a week, but that meal could be up to about half their body weight in size in order to sustain them for several weeks or even months at a time if resources happen to be scarce. Now we're going to make our way out of the river and into the savannah. And the savannah is landmarked by this odd looking tree here on the right hand side. This is called a baobab tree. Baobab trees are also known as a tree of life. The inside of that trunk can store thousands of gallons of water that the animals can use as a pretty convenient drinking source. So for example, elephants will use their tusks to poke holes into the trunk. It goes about 9 months out of the year without growing any leaves in order to conserve said water. And now as we head down this hill, we are officially entering the savannah. The savannah is the largest region here on the reserve and is home to many different species of animals. So giraffes, zebras, elephants, lions, rhinos, and cheetahs are all probably be able to find at least a couple of those animals. Are also known as Watusi cattle. This is named after the Watusi tribe who first domesticated them. They're going to be one of 2 domesticated species that live out here on the reserve. So those horns stretch about 6 to 8 feet across from tip to tip, but they're not as heavy as you may see. So the inside of those horns are made up of a honeycomb structure. It looks a little bit like a beehive. Their blood vessels are actually inside those horns. So as their blood flows through, it's cooled down and deposited back into the body. That helps to lower their internal body temperature. So these are known by a second name called Gnu. That's spelled G-N-U after the grunting it sounds like to make. They do lead the largest land migration of any mammal out there. So every year about 1.5 million wildebeest are going to migrate. Alright, coming up here on the left-hand side, we have the Jackpot, little tower of Maasai giraffes. And then the larger antelopes over here are known as eland.
He's coming to us.
Because they have a tendency to tower over everything. They're the tallest land animals in the world. They average about 16 to 20 feet tall. But everybody has to start off somewhere. Baby giraffes are going to be about 6 feet tall when they're first born. And then the eland back there are the largest antelopes that live out here on the reserve. So males get to about 6 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing about 2,000 pounds. Now both the male and female elands have those spiral horns, but a cool thing that the males will do is use those horns to dig up flowers, vines, and thorns. Alright, so we're making our way into elephant territory. I do see a couple of them around here, so we're going to pull them around the corner and try to get a pretty good view. The trees as good as scratching up. There we go.
What's that, Ella?
So they're the ones behind the trees, but these are a couple of African elephants. We know because we're in Africa, but also the shape of their ears, which loosely resemble the shape of the continent of Africa, whereas our Asian or Indian elephant counterparts are much smaller and a little bit more pointy ears. They have to have a pretty big home out here on the reserve. We can't always guarantee that they're going to be in the best view all the time.
Look at them.
Now the greater flamingo, they are the largest of the flamingo species, and they're also the lightest in color. They get this from the brine shrimp that they eat. It's high in a protein called beta-carotene. So when flamingos first hatch, they actually start off as a dark gray color. It takes about 2 years or so for those feathers to lighten up entirely and develop that pink color that we all know and love. Flamingos are also really well known for how they stand on one leg. Usually when they do this, it is because they are asleep or resting. It's how they maintain a better balance and conserve their energy. And then they will tuck their head underneath a wing, we assume to block out noise and light. That way they can get a peaceful night's rest. So when they're hunting, their timing does have to be as precise as possible. Cheetahs do have a couple of things that help them out with their hunting. One is going to be their tail. So you can kind of see that the tail stays flat to the backside and it curls up at the bottom. A cheetah's tail does the same kind of thing that a rudder does on a boat, allowing them to maintain their balance and change direction at such fast speeds. They also have non-retractable claws, so their claws are out all the time, unlike your cats at home. Those are going to eat. Like I said, they're sleeping.
Losing.
So lions are not the most active of the big cat family. They do sleep or rest about 16 to 20 hours every single day. Not out of laziness, but just to help conserve their energy. Now, contrary to popular belief, it is not the male lions who do the hunting. It is going to be the females, so the lionesses, and the girls hunt at night. During the day, a lion's eyesight is the same as ours, but at night it is 6 times stronger. So
you're gonna get fat with a house.
got one of them in the road at the moment. Now she's out of the road. And another one in the road.
Look, Ella, side.
Alright, we're gonna go super slow by them here.
See you, little baby.
Alright, and I do want to point out some of their eggs also here on the right hand side, just by the grasses. So ostrich eggs are the strongest eggs in the world, to the point where a grown human can stand on one and they're not going to break, but they're not that heavy. They only weigh about 3 pounds before it's supposed to. On the left, home to some super cute animals. These are the Nigerian goats. So these guys are a domesticated species, and they are domesticated for their milk production. Goat's milk is high in nutrition, but it's also very high in value, which in turn is going to help to boost the economy of many villages all throughout Africa. Goat's milk can be sold either on its own or in other products like butter, cheese, and skincare. In turn, the farmer provides the goats with
What do you think is going on?